turned the smile and trudged on, his grin fading to a grimace. He didn't care if she was Ginger Rogers. He was keeping his distance, naughty hair and eyes be damned. "You look lost, soldier," said the voice. Archer was outside the depot now, fully immersed in the delicious heat that seeped up from the pavement and gave him a hug. The speaker was a man in his late 60s, straight as a rake, thin as a lathe, with tumbleweed white hair and a fluffy mustache that dipped nearly to his chin. He had on a dark suit that needed a good sponging and a creased black hat with a soiled burgundy band. A silver watch chain spanned his dappled white vest, which covered a sunken chest and belly. Archer put his satchel down on the pavement, pulled a half-full pack of Lucky Strikes from his pocket, struck a match in the bottom of his shoe, and lit the end of the cigarette. He waved the spent match like a sparkler and tossed it down. The man looked so lustfully at his smoke that Archer slid one out and offered it to him. He accepted with gratitude on his features and used a dented chrome lighter to do the honors. They puffed for a bit, each squinting at the other through the spawned mingled fog of twin Luckies. "Just in town," replied Archer with a bit of a shiver as the sun began its descent after a hard day's labor, and the heat shriveled down into the pavement like a receding flame. The man eyed both the satchel and the bus depot behind and nodded. "Can see that. And I'm not lost, just going to my hotel." "Didn't mean geographically, more metaphorically." "You sound educated, or are you just fortunate with how words spill out of your mouth?" "Time fills your head up if you allow it. Some don't. They just put a lid on and end their life as they begin it, ignorant as babies." He put out a shaky, thinly veined hand with dark spots here and there. "I'm Robert Howells, but my friends and some of my enemies call me Bobby H. And you are?" Archer shook his head but said, "Why do you want to know?" "Just making small talk, son. Don't get jumpy on me." "I go by Archer." "Your first time in Reno?" asked Howells. Archer puffed on his smoke and nodded slowly. "Just passing through." "On to California? San Fran? Los Angeles? That's where Hollywood is. Most beautiful women in the world. Streets paved with gold. And the water tastes like wine." "And none of that is true." "Not a bit. Well, maybe the gals, but they ain't free, son. And there goes all my standard conversation right out the window." "Fact is, I am heading to California, but it's a place north of Los Angeles, according to the Rand McNally." "You have a certain look the camera might find interesting. Maybe I'm staring at the next Gary Cooper?" "I have no interest in being the next Gary Cooper or looking into cameras. I'm not saying I can't act, because I pretty much do every time I open my mouth." "What is your ambition, then?" Archer finished his smoke and patted it dead on the pavement with the heel of his right wingtip. "No offense, Bobby H., but I don't know you, and trouble with strangers is not something I'm casting about for." Howells frowned. "You seem closer to my age, at least in your lack of adventurous nature." "I'll take that as a compliment." "Do you know why they call Reno the biggest little city in the world?" Archer shook his head. "It's because you can get whatever New York or Philadelphia or Boston or even Los Angeles can provide." "And what do you think I want?" "What do most young men want after a war? You fought, I take it?" "That's nearly 5 years gone by now." "But it was a big war with long legs. We won't be forgetting it any time soon." "So what do I want?" Archer asked again. "A good time with no duties appurtenant thereto." "Appurtenant? Now you sound like a lawyer. They run second to dead last in popularity with me to undertakers, and it's a long way up from there." "Do you wish a good time with no consequences?" Archer wondered if the old man was drunk or doped or both. "I never assumed there was such a thing." "In Reno there is." "Well, good for Reno. And what do you get out of telling me that?" "You don't believe in generosity for generosity's sake?" "And I don't believe in Santa or pennies from heaven either, ever since age 7. "For a young man, you seem old and gray in spirit." "And getting older every minute I'm standing here gabbing with you."